Good afternoon. I'm not really a speaker, so Pamela knows what I'm talking about. I took the test for the Chicago Police Department in 1972. I passed it, and just before I was about to go to the academy, I discovered I was pregnant. That was 46 years ago. A lot of things have happened in those 46 years. I got married, I have family, I have 5 children, I have 15 grandchildren, different jobs, my dad has passed, and a lot of things didn't happen because I found out sometimes life just gets in the way. So I have always had a passion for writing, be it poetry, stories, plays, or just a note to myself with an idea for a story as a way to express my feelings. My words speak for me when I can't. Hostages of the Heart, ironically, as a female police officer is the main character. I hadn't thought about that when I wrote this novel, but reflecting on it now, maybe it's my desire to fulfill my wanting to be in law enforcement through the main character, Fanny Gales, who is a boisterous, independent, strong black woman who is searching for love. Intimacy follows the life of a young man, CJ, who comes from the streets and how he turns his life around and becomes a positive force in his community. But first, he has to learn to love himself before he can love others. I believe a good book has an interesting storyline and characters, but a great book has a protagonist that's the main character who has issues, and there's always an antagonist or an adversary. In my writing, I make a conscious effort to make my characters feel like someone that you know, a family member, a friend, someone you despise, or maybe somebody that you want to be, and you can identify with them and have empathy for them. So when I write my books, I like to write about something that I would like to read. So I want my readers to forget about the bills, the anxieties of the day, next week's dental appointment. I want you to get comfy in your fuzzy slippers, have a glass of wine, or go in your man cave with a cold beer. Just relax and escape reality, if only for a few hours, while you enjoy looking at the world through someone else's eyes. People ask me, when do you find time to write? Or how long it took to write my book? That's a good question, because I said like before, life just gets in the way of living. So I write whenever. There is no set time, no place to be, but when I get in my zone, I can write, and I just write and rewrite until I'm satisfied with what I'm writing. Then I'll rewrite again. So my best inspirations come to me late at night when it's quiet, and I find myself just sitting at my laptop, just typing. Sometimes until 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm just in my zone. But I also keep a notepad by my bed, because sometimes I'll come up with this idea and I'll have it, and if I don't write it down, in the morning I'll forget what it was. So when I first started to go through this process, and I was asking Bobby about, what do you have to do to get your book published and everything, and he was explaining the process, and he said, make sure that you have your brand. So my brand is one agape for all. And agape means unconditional love. God loves each of us unconditionally. And if we love one another unconditionally, there would be no racism, sexism, domestic violence, child abuse, and not only would Black lives matter, but all lives would matter. Now, I'm not the first author in my family. My second oldest daughter, Deanna, she published her book. It's a book of poetry. It's called Catharsis in 2012. And she inspired me to not write, because I had already written, but to get out there and step out on faith and put my works out there. So whenever I write something or I don't write and I feel like I'm not living up to my potential, there's a song that I like. It's by William Murphy, and it's called This Is My Season. And if you listen to the words of it, it's saying, this is my season, it's time. So I asked Bobby if he could play it for me so that you could get to really feel that you know, if it's your season, when God's time for you, your season will come.
Yes.